voy a hacer el 3-2-1 de esta semana completamente en español. ¿Ves? Llevo mucho tiempo sin hablarlo y necesito practicar. Por eso espero que lo hablas o que puedes leer los subtítulos. Just kidding. 3, 2, 1, go.
I guess I probably should have done my research.
Okay, so Mr. Andre asked how to button a 3-button peacoat. Like, what's the right order to do them in? And Andre, I assume that by peacoat you meant top coats. A peacoat's like double-breasted, and basically with those you can do it however you want. I assume you meant something like this, where it's single-breasted and it's just got one row. So this is how I'm going to answer it, and I'll kind of show you the breakdown on this. Okay, so just like with a sport coat, if you want kind of the most aesthetically pleasing with just kind of your minimal coverage, then just start off with the middle button. Now, if the weather gets a little bit crazier and you want more coverage, then go with the top 2 buttons. Now, for me personally, this is what I end up doing 90% of the time as far as the maximum amount of coverage. However, if you find yourself in inclement weather, it gets crazy, I mean, go with the form or go with the function. You need it. So do the 3rd button. Okay? So really, you can do any of the 3, but you got to go 1, 2, or 3, because really almost any other configuration, you get something like this. Yeah, that looks dumb. Or this. Yeah, like that's even more dumb. Or you could do it maybe like this. That's not as dumb, but it still just kind of doesn't really work from a function perspective. Nick asked what my preferred hair product is. He said that it always looks nice and good, which I appreciate, Nick. Thank you, sir. This is what I'm currently using. It's called Caviar Clay, and I was not seeking this out. Normally I use a brand called Imperial, and they have a pomade, whereas this stuff, it's a matte wax or a matte clay. Ran out of pomade at the barber shop. I needed something right away. Tried this out and I have loved it. So I think I'm going to continue to use this stuff just because the texture of it ends up being a little bit different. So Caviar Clay or Imperial end up being my 2 brands that I recommend right now. Fred asked, what do you do with your hair with that awkward phase when you're trying to grow it out? And honestly, good luck, dude. I hated that phase. If you would like to see what I tried to do with that phase, follow me on Instagram @TannerGuzzy, and then go back through and look at pictures from about a year ago up until April or May of 2015. At that point, I was trying to grow my hair out. I was going for something a little bit longer. Man bun. Big mistake. Anyway, and God, that in-between stage, it sucks. Here's what I figured out. If you are in an environment in which you can wear hats, wear hats. Embrace that, because that's the only thing that's going to provide any consistency. If you're not, like I am, then there's 2 things that I learned as I went with this. One is that it's just gonna be big before it gets long, and so you kind of have to embrace that. And I found that a sloppy big looks better than a controlled big, if that makes sense. So again, check out these photos. You've got like this controlled big versus this that's more of a sloppy big, and it's just better when it looks a little bit haphazard. The other thing is to also embrace the fact that your hair is going to be different every single day. Every single day. Something that worked yesterday is not going to work today, and certainly something a week from now is not going to work as well as it did a week ago. Let's go shoot some Instagram photos while we're walking out there. Con 818, if I remember right. He asked me, what's my gift buying philosophy? Do I prefer to do stuff that's practical or stuff that's a little bit more fun? It's kind of a fun question. I'm of the opinion that it can be both, and if you're going to do it both, it has to be done the right way. I remember one year for Christmas, I got windshield wiper blades. That sucked. That's not the kind of thing you want to give somebody for Christmas, even if you're into practical things. So my advice is, if you're doing practical stuff, do it on the kind of practical stuff that's a splurge. Like, for example, let's say you're going to get somebody, I don't know, a wallet. Get them a really, really nice wallet. Or if you don't have a huge budget, then basically just buy like a really expensive, really nice thing that is large for that budget, if that makes sense. So let's say you have like $50, buy a luggage tag. Something that is going to be more practical and more fun, but that the person wouldn't actually splurge on. Last personal question is from someone named Marshall. And Marshall asked, if I had to live anywhere besides Utah, where would I choose to live? I can think of 2 different places that I would be absolutely thrilled to end up living. One for a few years, and then the other one pretty much forever. So the one for a few years, Florence, Italy. Been there a couple times. I'm in love with that city. I love the history of it. I love the feel of it. I love how everything in there is walkable. I absolutely love Florence, and I'm really lucky that as part of what I do for a living that I get to go out there periodically and spend some time there. The other one is my wife and I really love the idea of spending a lot of time in a rural area, especially somewhere green like eastern Idaho or up in Montana, green and mountainous. My wife loves the idea of going back east, but for me, being in the mountains is very, very appealing. So I would love to go, up to Idaho. I would love to own property, 30 acres, and have my neighbors be people to whom I am close as far as a connection goes, but that there is a serious physical distance between us. All right, for our one personal, Ray asked, what was the #1 song the year that you were born? I'm assuming like a Billboard chart. Let's consult the internet. I don't know how to feel about that. I don't even know if I've ever even heard that song. But there you go, 1984, year I was born, When Doves Cry.